picking up box.
Hi, thank you for letting me come out. My name is John from the Positive Action Foundation. We are new to the area, but not new to service dogs. We started our foundation in 2012. My mom is the actual director of the organization. Unfortunately, she couldn't be here tonight. She wanted to, but she has some stuff to take care of with the house. So we've been around since 2012. Currently, we've got about 400 clients. We started in the South Orlando area. That's where we're from, the St. Cloud. And we started in 2012. And so we started there. We did a veterinary assisting program where we could come out, let the kids train dogs for the veterans. And then in 2015 when we really started to kick off the organization. So that was when we started. Our first veteran she was a corpsman she was a corpsman. She did, I think, 14 tours. So we started training the fully trained dogs. And then when we placed it with her, she was like, that's great, but we missed the puppy stage. So then we started them from the time they were little. Then we placed them by about 7 months old. But why we chose the 7-month-old was the fact that they were potty trained, they knew the basics, and the veterans could continue on from there. We do about 5 levels of certification. The basic access is just can you handle your dog out in public. Then we do from the canine good citizen all the way to the full access. And that process can take anywhere from a year to about 18 months. So we started there. But this is Nelson. He's one of our 6-year-old fully trained dogs. He actually belongs to me. I am not a veteran, however, I do have Asperger's, so that's where I got him about 2 years ago. But I am not a veteran, however, I come from a veteran family. My grandpa was in the National Guard. I had another grandpa who was in the Marines. So that's when we started. Norma's mom was a recon, or Norma's dad, I should say, was recon. And that was near to her heart. She's been training dogs since she was like 12 years old. She started in the show background. But then she decided that for retirement, this is really what she wanted to do, was start a nonprofit. So that's really when she started this. We provide them at no cost. All we ask is that you provide a DD-214 that shows you an honorable discharge. Doesn't matter if you're post or pre 9/11. You come to us and say, hey, I'd like a dog. You give us the DD-214, a letter from your healthcare provider stating you benefit from the service dog, and then we start you in our program. We do lab and golden mixes just because they work the best. CCI has been doing them for years. But we also have a program which Brenda's going through, which is the owner train program, which is that if you have a dog of your own that you'd like to train with us, all we ask is that we evaluate your dog out in public, see how they do. And if they've got any protective instinct, unfortunately, we'd have to find something else at that point. Because unfortunately, it's to do the general public. A business can ask you 3 questions. Is this your service dog? Does it benefit you? And what does he do for you? Now that last question does not need you to go into graphic detail. All you have to say is the mobility answer, which means, say you go into the Walmart, you get to the sliding doors, and you go, I can't do it today, and you leave. And a couple hours later, you bring your dog, and you're able to go through the door. That's mobility. So that's what all it requires there. And unfortunately, due to lovely Google, that's been spread all over the internet. So now you have these little puffy chihuahuas and stuff that really aren't service dog or even service dog qualified, but they bring them anyways and they charge your dog. And unfortunately, if your dog reacts in any specific kind of way, he's the bad guy according to the general public, even though that's really not the case. So what we do is we start you guys there. We do classes in Rock Hill on every other Wednesday and Saturday. So you can come out there. We ask that you do at least about 6 classes before we do a basic access, but we're not going to rush you. That's only when you're actually ready to do that test. And then after that, you get your service dog vest. You can take them anywhere, and then an ID. But you guys have any questions or anything? so far.
Do you breed your own dogs, or do you have breeders that you pick from?
Yes, sir. We actually breed and raise our own. Nelson right here is one of our actually stud dogs. And he's had, gosh, I don't even want to know how many puppies. But they've all been proven full access service dogs. And then his daughters provided some for us. And then we've got some breeding girls coming up already. Currently, we've got 11 dogs coming into the program. They're about 4 months old right now. Or no, sorry, they're 5 weeks old now. But by the time they're 4 months old is when we'll start them in the program. So what we're doing is looking for some applicants to come out and apply and get you on either the waiting list, or currently we have some dogs available already. Yes, Sal, sorry, see you again.
You just answered my exact question. You're looking for veterans to pair with those dogs.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Currently we've got about, I believe, 5 or 6 available. They are lab golden doodle mixes. We tried them out just to see. We had, we bred the labs and goldens, but some of the common complaint was the hair. These guys do shed if you don't brush them out. But the lab gold, so we started the doodles, and they're great. Don't get me wrong, but they're not as good as the golden doors. They just took a little bit longer to mature than these guys do. And they're currently, I think they're right around a year old. I think they'll be actually a year old next Sunday. So we do have some dogs available and coming up. And then we have also got some litters, 2 more litters planned for this year. So rescues, we typically don't use rescues. The problem being, again, the general public. Big problem with rescues is a lot of them come with baggage already. The ones we need for rescue are good family dogs, and those are the ones gone first. And unfortunately, the ones that are remainders, usually, the easiest way to put this is you can't give somebody with PTSD a dog with PTSD. It just doesn't work. We've tried it once or twice, and it really just hasn't worked. But that's where we started with these guys, and these guys have all been phenomenal.
What's the entire length of your training program?
Training program it can take anywhere from a year to 18 months. It just depends on how long or how often you come, how dedicated you are to do this. Typically, we like to pair the dogs about 7 months old, and by the time they're 18 months, they'll be full access. We ask that you come at least, we used to do once a week, but due to gas prices right now being $5 a gallon, we've limited that to 2 times a month. I mean, you guys are welcome to come as many as you want to, but we only do require you to come twice. And then what we're also looking for is people just to, even if you don't need a dog yourself and just want to come help a dog for another fellow veteran, we do volunteer as well. And so what we do is we have come to the same classes that you would if you were to get a dog. But what we're looking for is people to we've got the 5 of them coming up. Even something as simple as going to a car ride. Dogs need to be exposed to that. Going out in public, they need to be exposed to that. But you have to come to the classes first. We have to get familiar with you have to get familiar with us and how we do that. And that's something you can definitely, if you guys are interested, get you guys set up with. I have plenty of brochures and stuff that you guys can scan out. And I'm going to let him go around the room and say hi. But any other questions for me? Or
where are you located?
We're located, our facility is in York, but we do classes in Rock Hill as well as Columbia. Currently, 90% of our clients are in Columbia, so every other Wednesday we do travel there to the Home Depot off of 2 Notch Road, and we do classes there every other Wednesday. Yes?
How did you get up here from Florida? Was there just such a great need that you decided to expand this direction?
Unfortunately, where we lived at in Florida it started out as a very small town, and then it unfortunately got eaten up by developments.
Right.
We had development across the street, around the corner, around the other corner, and so we were looking for small town. So we moved to the Blue Ridge, Georgia area. We were there for about 2 years, and unfortunately, due to living situations, we had to get out of there. And unfortunately, Norma's brother was passed away, which is my mom. So we bought his property here. We've got about 13 acres in York. So we've got a kennel set up. We've got probably a 2 acre run for the dogs. A creek that runs through it. It's actually really a drainage ditch, but after it rains, it's a creek. They have a lot of blasts running through it. And they're usually pretty black after that. But they have a lot of fun. But so he passed away, and we moved here in July last year, and he passed away in August ago. He had spinal cancer. So he was gone. He got diagnosed in December, and by August he was gone. So we started here. Norma's mother, she's got two moms. She's got a Marine family that she moved in with when she was a teenager. Her other mom lived with her brother. So we moved into her house, and we're taking care of her as well as her real mom. So we've got a variety of family, and that's where her passion for veteran really comes into it. Currently, we've got about 25 veterans in the area that we support, and that's ongoing. Right now, we've got, I think, up to 10 on our waiting list, but we're constantly looking for more, because the right dog doesn't always fit the people we have, so we keep looking until we do. Because the dogs actually pick the people don't pick the dogs, and that's what a lot of people don't realize. What we do is we pair you with the dog week by week, and then what we look for is the dog all of a sudden looks back at the person and constantly keeps checking in. And that's usually our hint that we need to work that veteran with that dog a little while longer. And they usually take them home pretty shortly after that. Any other questions for me? Yes, sir.
I've heard that you're not supposed to pet service animals.
You're not supposed to pet them. However, if you, at least with our organization, as long as you ask the person's usually okay. Now, that really varies on the person. That veteran or whoever has that service dog may not be in the mood that day to pet that dog. And if you ask and they say no, there's nothing by law that says you have to pet that dog. So usually our veterans are more than willing to share their dog. But if they're really not in a mood to do it, they'll usually tell you, no, I'm sorry, he's working, and they'll go around their day. But typically, as long as you ask, it's okay. Where you guys get offended is if you're in the Walmart with your dog, somebody just comes up and pets your dog. That's usually where there's a problem. But as long as you ask first, it's okay. Yes, sir.
Has your organization considered expanding into first responders? Because we have a lot of first responders, EMS and police and paramedic, that have PTSD as well.
We've done 4 of them in the past in Florida, but unfortunately there's just no funding for first responders. A fully trained service dog costs about $15,000. And then that's how much we provide them for. Our veterans do not pay anything. We have an outside funder in the Boca Raton area, that's Helping Heroes, who we submit the DD-214 and they pay for everything. So our veteran literally pays nothing. However, the national average for service dogs are anywhere from $15,000 to $25,000. We have 10 dogs in the Osceola County, which is in Florida, school system for autistic children. Again, unfortunately, there's just no funding in it. But they go to school every day in the educational systems, and the kids with the special needs. And so they go in there, and there's about 10 that we've done. Yes, sir.
So once the dog is placed for 18 months, is there continuing training for years to come?
Continuing training, what we do is, after you've got the dog, done your full access test, in about 6 months, we have you retest, just to make sure you guys are still up to date, make sure you guys don't need any extra help. And then a year after that 6 months, then we retest again. We retest yearly to make sure that you guys are still okay. And then we'll issue a new ID every time you guys pass that test.
Is there a certain age that the dogs age out of service, or?
We let them do service as long as they can. Now, when it becomes unfair to the dog, and usually our clients are pretty good with that. Currently, right now, we don't have any that's aged out, but our oldest are going on 8 this year. So we expect in the next 2 to 3 years to get a call from our clients to hopefully get the next one. And we like to give them, hopefully, if the veteran is ready, we don't push the issue, give them a puppy to start over. And that way, hopefully, when the dog does pass, the veteran will be a little bit more prepared. Obviously, you can't be prepared for it, but hopefully it'll ease the blow just a little bit. Yes, sir.
Do y'all name the puppies, or does the veteran name the puppies?
We do both. A lot of our dogs are named after fallen veterans, but we also have the sponsor who names just some of the puppies. So we let the veterans do both. Nelson, I don't remember his namesake, but yes, he was named after a fallen veteran, and he was born on 6, so 2015 was when he was born. But usually we keep a database, and our clients, they provide us the story of what happened, and then we'll consider naming a baby after a fallen veteran. Any other questions for me, or? Yes, sir.
I just want to say, I've seen them in action. I've been to their training facility. I don't have a dog from them. But if you know of anybody who might benefit from such a thing, I strongly recommend it. Even if you don't have that, I also strongly that you rally behind these people and do what you can to go train with the dog, even if you don't know anything. The magic that happens between veterans and animals is amazing. Please do it, whatever you can. I don't know. There's going to be benefits for people across the board. So that's all I got. Tell your mom I said hi.
Yes. So yes, the need is incredible. We have one gentleman, I won't name him, however, when he started our program, he only went from his house to the cigar shop, and that was it. He did that every day. He received, about a month ago, he received his 3rd level certification. We got a call from him last night, or from that night that he got his certification, that we gave him his ID. He was in Walmart for the first time in 5 years.
Wow.
And why he went to Walmart was he needed a luggage tag so he could put that ID on his vest because he was that proud of his dog. So we've had many, many, many more success stories that would take the rest of the night to talk about.
It allows some people to go back to work.
Yes, sir. Our dogs have saved several families from divorce.
Yep.
The veteran was self-isolated, not really concerned. He just was really, really paranoid, and it saved many, many, many. Kelly, who she doesn't mind us telling this story because she was the first ever recipient of one of our dogs. She was actually banned from Applebee's for life. She was the one that did the 12 tours in Iraq, Afghanistan. Unfortunately, last deployment got blown up. So she was a left arm amputee. And so she was very, very angry at the world. So what she would do is if somebody looked at her wrong or she just felt like there was a thing, she'd start an argument and usually resulted in a fight. So her son, who she's got a heavy autistic son, would go to the restaurant and be like, "Oh, would you like a menu?" "No, thanks, we're not staying." And since she's had her dog, she's not been in one fight.
Wow.
She is a completely different lady, thanks to the program, every day. She let us do 2 litters from him, which is where his dad came from. And then we continued on from there. And currently, right now, with the whole service dogs and guide dog thing, there's about a 50% dropout rate, which that really shouldn't be the case. Right now, we are sitting at a 98% success rate. We've had 5 dogs that haven't made our program. And it's not because the dogs couldn't do it, it's that the dogs really didn't like to do it. And so we weren't going to force them to go into public every day when they just really didn't enjoy that. And it just really wasn't fair to them. And we let them go when since then they've become therapy dogs. But that was up to the individual person to make that decision. We let them go as a pet, but they thought the dog was so great that they wanted to share it. So we've got that. But a lot of our veterans end up doing the dual route where they do some therapy dog as well. But that's completely up to each individual person if they want to do it. We've got one gentleman who goes, at least he used to, unfortunately due to health problems, he doesn't anymore. But every Friday he went to the autistic kids classroom. That was his gift. He shared his dog. And he loved it. But, any other questions for me?
How does the dog like that? Let's say you went to Walmart or whatever, and does it sit like how? I guess does the dog sense that the person maybe has anxieties towards the public, and it
says somebody's coming up behind me, the dog just looks behind me, and lets them know that there's just somebody coming up.
Gotcha.
But I mean, we do a variety of different special skills. Yes, come here. Hey, get it. Get it. Wait, bring it back. So,
Oh, I should have.
so we teach a variety of different skills, and a lot of our skills are tailored based on each individual client. We teach them the same, we call that a little party trick. But we teach them the basics: sit down, stay, walk nice on a leash, behave in public. And then after that, but a lot of our training is based on what does that individual veteran need. We get their DD-214 application, doctor's letter, and then we'll meet with them privately and see what they really need. They are not required to do classes necessarily in public if they're not ready for it yet. We start them a nice little small class, and then we work our way up to it. But currently, we had, I think, 8 the other day, last Saturday in the Home
Oh,
Depot
goodness.
Public.
At least.
Depot,
Yeah.
at least 8 of our teams that are pretty close to being full access. But we have a little variety of different levels.
And he was evil. We put a row of treats across the aisle and had our dogs go across the aisle. Across
Over the treats.
Over the treats without.
Yeah. Well, people don't realize is that that skill is necessary. You take somebody like Brent who has a cane, and you don't realize because you're walking along and all of a sudden your dog sees a chicken bone sitting in the middle of the aisle. Your dog can't jerk you and fall, you usually fall over backwards. Whether you've got a balance issue or you're just not expecting it. So our dogs are taught when they're in the jacket to never ever touch food off the floor. But we start them with just even something as simple as a peanut butter jar. You have to walk by it. And then we work our way up to it.
To potted meat.
We did that the other day. We potted meat, pepperoni treats. We do a variety of different distractions.
You brought out the vacuum cleaner.
Yep. So yeah, we definitely do a variety of different tasks. Is there any other questions, or is that it? Well, thank you guys for letting me come out to speak.
Hold on, don't go anywhere. Stay. Sit, stay.